Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Tempe History Museum. There's this little logo here. Well, you know where you're at. City of Tempe sponsors this. Let me see. It's called Arts and Culture Tax. So this is free, and I think it's a great use of tax money. Thank you. We've been doing this since September, and we got 2 more shows. We run September through May. It's interesting. September 10th, we started off with the Natalie Gallatin Quartet. And who do we have here tonight? I think it's Natalie Gallatin. I keep wanting to say Nancy. I'm sorry. But we have 2 more shows. May 6th, we have Francine Reed in this room. I'm sure some of you, if not all of you, have heard of Francine Reed. And then finally on May 20th, an acoustic night, the Sun Punchers Trio and Mark Zubia and Jesse Valenzuela. For extra credit, does anybody know who Jesse Valenzuela is? Jim Blossoms, excellent. Extra credit, whatever that means. So we've been doing this for 12 years. Over 200 shows, about 30,000 visitors like yourselves. Nobody paid any money. It's great. It's a great use of tax money. I think we've given away about $90,000 to starving musicians. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're streaming this to Facebook. Look at Tempe History Museum Facebook page when you go home tonight, and hopefully you'll see these happy faces at least. I'd like to introduce Benjamin Cortez, Natalie Gallatin, Jenny, who has a last name I don't know.
It's Pix, I think.
Come on. Aaron, and I even know Jacob's name. Jacob was with Natalie. So take it away, Mr. Benjamin Cortez and band. Thank you.
I confess I'm not the best at letting things come as they may. There's a lot in life that's out of my control. Ever since you said goodbye and left me standing in the dust, I've been feeling uncertain of what my future has to hold. Things take time, I know it's true, but lately I don't know what to do. Think that patience is the thing that I need most. Patience is the thing that I need most. Patience is the thing that I need most right now. Patience is the thing that I need most. I couldn't wear my watch today, 'cause every second it ticked away was a reminder of all the hours you robbed from me. Somehow I still take the bait and let you play your real estate, 'cause I can't find my addiction to a memory. Things take time, I know it's true, but lately I don't know what to do. Thinking that patience is the thing that I need most. Yeah, yeah. Patience is the thing that I need most. I'm telling you that patience is the thing that I need most right now. Patience is the thing that I need most. It's the thing that I need most. Patience is the thing that I need most right now. Patience is the thing that I need most.
Let me say it one more time now.
Patience is the thing that I need most.
Now, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Patience is the thing that I need.
Telling you that patience is the thing that I need most right
it's the
now.
thing. It's the thing I
Patience
need.
is the thing that I need most. If you're feeling like you're struggling just to get up in the morning, let me hear you say
Patience is the thing that I need most.
And if you're feeling like you're never gonna get out of this rut, let me hear you say
Patience is the thing that I need most.
Yeah. I think that a change of scenery could do me good. You know it would be so satisfying, so gratifying to get out of town, forget it all for a day.
I think that a change of scenery could do me good. Ooh.
Just a touch of variety could do me good. You know it would be so satisfying and so gratifying to get out of town, forget it all for a
I think that a change of scenery could do me good.
'cause every time I drive downtown, the street signs bear your name. And every time I Thanks so much. Thank you. Hi, everybody. How's it going? Good to see all of you here. Thank you so much for coming to this amazing museum that logs all of this incredible history that happened in this town for so many years. So, yeah, thanks for coming. That was a brand new song I wrote. It's only been performed one time other than this, and it was called Patience, and then it moves into another kind of, it's like a big song made up of two songs. The other one's called Change of Scenery. So yeah, that was just a little statement about the, what we went through, I think, in the pandemic, just a lot of having to hold on hope and just like, hope for the best, I think, and also just to, want to get out of town, go to that cabin up north or whatever, whatever that is to you. So that's that song. It was a little COVID anthem for you. This next one is a song from my first record. How many of you here have heard my record before my first record? Anyone? Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for being real fans. I appreciate it. Yeah, so this one is one of the more acoustic numbers on that, and it's called Butterfly. Hope you enjoy. Look to my windowsill just to see her sitting still and flutter her wings, sending a gentle kiss of a cooling wind, every motion giving life and color to the barren land surrounding her. Early summer morning, though birds of air and other creatures that catch my eye just move along, carry on to something new. My butterfly never flies away, and every time I've seen her, she's more lovely than the day before. She's a remembrance of a memory I'm longing for. Out of slumber she pulls me through to metamorphosis and a life anew. I give all that I am to you, my butterfly. I give all that I am to you, my butterfly. Look to the girl right next to me. See the essence of the earth's beauty. I witness the answer to my humanity right there before my eyes. Everything I ever want to be, ever want to share is close enough for me to reach out and hold, and yet I'm right there. Late night summer evening, presence is a healing miracle. You are a gentle prayer, a painting to the eye. Just a short glimpse of you sends shockwaves through my being. It warms my spirit, illuminates the darkest hour, makes my days more meaningful than they ever had been before. Out of slumber she pulls me through to metamorphosis and a life anew. I give all that I am to you, my butterfly. I give all that I am to you, my butterfly. Thank you, thank you. This butterfly, appreciate it. So I got another oldie but a goodie coming up. This one is interesting. I started this one when I was like in middle school, and I was really interested in Motown music, specifically Temptations, Marvin Gaye, the early stuff, mid '60s. And I, wanted to write a song just like it's a very pure love song, and in the most, in the way that only a 12-year-old boy, I guess, can write. And so I put it away for a long time, kind of forgot about it. And then when I went to record my record that I released in 2018, I was like, oh, I should use that, And I don't know. Whenever I play this, I find people are like, oh, I like that one, and it's a reminder for me that sometimes our most like true instincts from when we're just young, and just gullible and all that stuff. Sometimes those instincts are our best instincts. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I feel so free when you talk to me, 'cause you're cool like a breeze. Everything that you say in your particular way gives me joy and peace. I know I don't always say it, but I'll show you how much you mean to me. I feel so complete with your love so sweet. From the day we did first meet, you have made me whole, the void within my soul, my imprisoned heart you free. I know I don't always say it, but I'll show how much you mean to me. Only you can take my worried mind, give it needed rest, my friend. Only you can take my broken heart, put the pieces together again. Darling, you made me a better man. It feels so right when you're by my side, 'cause you're so divine. When all is said and done, I know that you are the one. You're the love of my life. I know, don't always say it, but I'll show how much you mean to me. I know, don't always say it, but
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. That's Natalie Gallatin on the saxophone. Took a solo. Jenny Pixler on the vocals. And holding it down in the rhythm section, Arian Sperduti on the bass. And Jacob Erie on drums. No, I appreciate you all being here. How is everybody in that back row? You guys doing good back there? Sweet. Awesome. Glad it sounded good. Cool. I didn't wait for an answer. The next song I'm about to play is the title track from my record, and it's just a song about trying not to worry about what other people think about you, and just trying not to be worrying about conforming, just being yourself. You know, weird is cool. Weird is great. We love weird. So this song is about being weird, and we're doing this for the first time in a little bit of a different style. So if you know the song, you might recognize that it's a little different this time. So hope you enjoy.
Everyone wants you to be manufactured just the way they saw you on their TV screen. They think you're made in bulk using recycled plastic, conveniently packaged for their every need. They're gonna put you inside of their shoes, dress you up so they can look at their mirror reflection, teach you how to say things with their own inflection. But you find that the shoes are too small, and the words that come out of your mouth don't mean a thing when you don't speak the language at all. You were meant to wear what you wanna wear, to say what you want to say. You've got to realize that it's all in your head. Nobody has exactly what you do. You've got to realize that it's you in command, 'cause it's all in your hands. It's all in your hands. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do, all you gotta do is figure out how the game works. Learn to dance the dance and land back on your feet. Once you're on the path, no one can take you on a detour. Set cruise control until your journey's complete. 'Cause when I hold your hand in mine and look upon your open palm and see all the constellations, all the beautiful designs in such unique formations, tell me why it is you're wasting your time with the people who simply want to redesign your image, thinking they might have a shot at a total refinish. let them distract you from your plan. You got to realize that it's all in your hands. Nobody has exactly what you do. You've got to realize that it's you in command, 'cause it's all in your hands.
It's all in your hands.
You've got to realize that it's all in your hands. Yeah, nobody has exactly what you do. You got to realize that it's you in command, 'cause it's all in your hands. It's all in your hands, 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 hands. Ooh,
It's all in your hands.
yeah. Listen, baby, it's all in your hands.
It's all in your hands.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's got it like you do.
No one's got it like you.
Nobody's got it like you do. Nobody's got it like you do.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was All in Your Hands 2.0. The groovy version. The groovier version, something like that. All right, this next one that I'm about to play is actually, it's never been performed live before, so you are the test audience. Thank you for your viewership. No, it's one that I wrote pre-pandemic. It was like 2019, and you know, it's just about letting go of a phase of your life and doing it in the funkiest way possible. So this one is called Give Me This Dance. Hope you enjoy. One, two, three, four.
Don't you know it's time for me to be a man, to walk away from this like I know I should, to turn my back on you, our love, let's reach the end, to make a pitiful attempt at remaining friends. And every minute that I sit here and think about it has me I gotta find the perfect moment to set you down, tell you what I need to say. Before you were my dream come true. But now it seems that dream is through. Before the dawn, when I gotta break your heart in two. Give me this dance with you. Oh, give me one last dance with
On the other end of the line, I can sense the pain. To end this thing like this is a travesty. But what was I to do? I could not carry on.
me longing for a friend.
longing for a
But I'm
friend.
aware that I burned that bridge to the ground and won't go back that way again.
Back that way again.
You were my dream come true. Ooh, but now it seems that dream is through. Ooh, before the dawn, when I gotta break your heart in two.
Break your heart in two. I'm gonna miss dancing with you.
Thank you. Just give me this dance. All right. I'm going to ask the rhythm section and Natalie to take a step off the stage, and we're going to bring it down to a little acoustic set for you. How about Jenny Pixler, everybody?
Thank you.
I recorded that song in 2020 in the doldrums of when we were all just shut in and had nothing better to do. and Jenny sang on the recording for it. It's not released yet, but it will be out soon. I promise before the end of the year. But she killed it, and I'm really honored to be sharing the stage with her and playing this music with her. So.
Thanks, Ben. Super happy to be singing with you.
Yeah. I'm gonna grab something real quick that I just realized I forgot. One sec. This next song is one that that is just once again about coming to terms with loss, about coming to terms with a tough situation in which somebody leaves you in your life, and you're just trying to maintain a positive outlook. So. It's called Hello New Day.
Hello, new day. I'm ready for the change you bring. Though it's hard to let yesterday go, it's time to grow and face the morning sun of the new day that's begun. Goodbye, old flame. Though the embers still remain, I am ready to put out the light, and I pray that you might find what you're looking for. And then maybe just once more our paths will cross if the stars align. With a hug and a smile as you go your way and I go mine. Hello, new day. Never thought I'd see the dawn, but I'm finding strength in the ones I love, and in knowing that she will be free, 'cause that's enough for me. And our paths will cross if the stars align. With a hug and a smile as you go your way and I go mine. Hello, new day. Never thought I'd see the dawn, but I'm finding strength in the ones I love, and in knowing that she will be free, 'cause that's enough for me, and that's enough for me. Yeah, that's enough for me.
Thanks so much. I appreciate that. Hello, New Day. All right, I got one more acoustic one for you too. This song is one that actually Jenny and I co-wrote. It started off from this musical idea. I was just kind of fooling around playing the acoustic in the backyard, and I kind of stumbled on some chord changes that I really liked, and I kind of had a general concept, a couple ideas, and I brought them to Jenny. I was like, Jenny, like I have this idea about like the moments before you're moving out of a house, and like, you know, what could be implied with that, and you know, in a story, and Jenny was just like, oh my God, and she just started bulleting off concepts, and I was like, whoa, hold on, like, give me a second. And from there, like, I went home and just kind of structured it, you know, in a way that I liked it, and we you know, went back and forth writing, and so this was our first co-write together, and I really couldn't be happier with how it turned out. So hope you enjoy. It's called Never.
Took a picture of the layout of the living room like it used to be, before it all got put in cardboard, taken off to a facility downtown. Tried to simulate control, did all I could to rearrange and to contain, but the memory still spilled out in lapses of collectedness, like a microburst of rain, a microburst of pain. No, I never thought it would be this way. I'd look in the mirror and I would say, never gonna be like them, never gonna be like them, but here I am, making the same mistakes again. Took me years to find the courage to pick up the photo from that day. just to cry and say goodbye one last time before the photo fades away. 'Cause in the wake of growing older, I found clarity and I found truth. And the corners of that faded photo no longer fit the frame of my youth. Though I never thought it would be this way, I look in the mirror and I would say, never gonna be like them, never gonna be like them, but here I am, making the same mistakes again. Never gonna be like them, never gonna be like them, but here I am, just a broken heart still on the mend. My hurting heart has been in pieces, hidden away in cardboard boxes. But I'm not afraid to face my demons. I am ready to unpack. I am ready to unpack. I am ready to unpack. No, I never thought it would be this way. I look in the mirror and I would say, never gonna be like them, never gonna be like them, but here I am, making the same mistakes again. Never gonna be like them, never gonna be like them, but here I am, seeing mom and dad in my reflection. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Thank you. That was the first time I played that with Jenny, and I'm glad to have done it. I did it once before at the Lost Leaf. Anybody been to the Lost Leaf before? Yeah, amazing venue to see some live music. All right. Oh, I'm gonna use this one again. So today's Earth Day. It's crazy. I think we have so much to be thankful for, that we're able to breathe oxygen and live, and that we're able to make music up here and do all this incredible stuff. But there's also a lot, I don't know about how you feel, but I feel like there's a lot to be scared about our future moving forward as a planet. And this next song that I wrote was I wrote it during the time when I found out that Ukraine had been invaded by Russia. And for me, my gut reaction, no matter how, illogical or what actually is going to happen, we don't know really moving forward, but my gut reaction was just that of like dread. We clearly haven't learned our lesson from wars of the past, and here's another combat, in which really innocent people are the only victims, or the largest victims. So I wrote this song kind of contemplating that in my heart, but also in a time in which I was just like really, reflecting on my faith and my belief in God, and just what that means to me and my struggles with that. And so that all kind of materialized into this this song. So hope you enjoy. It's the first time I've ever played it live.
Today the veil was torn in two, and a shroud of darkness overtook the sun. The ground trembled viciously, and the levees by the sea were overrun. We are a world at war again, and I cannot help but think of our demise. When children are trampled under tanks in the name of jingoistic lies, I am afraid that I will die, just to find that there is nothing in the end. It's hard to have faith in eternal life when there's so much more than I can comprehend. Before it's time to say goodbye, I will sing this song of love for our earth. Ease all our sorrows, and to say a prayer of hope for our rebirth. We commend into God's embrace our mother in the hope that we will rise with her on our final day, and that we may be received in paradise. Saints of God, come to our aid and receive our souls. Receive our soul. Receive our soul. Our home is burning. Our home is burning. My home is burning, and there's nothing I can do but watch the flame. See the heavens turn a shade blood red, while creation below is left for dead. Our home is hurting. Our home is hurting. Hear her cry out in the crackle of the fire, and every time that we throw caution to the wind, we fan the flame. We will see a mighty empire turn to shade blood red, and humanity will be left for dead.
Thanks so much. All right, Dan. It's a Q&A time. We only got one tune left.
Hello. Hello. Well, this is my favorite time, other than the music. If you guys ask really good questions, they'll do an encore. So, who's got a really good question?
And it doesn't have to just be about the music. It can be, which shark is the fastest shark, or what was the starting lineup of the 2003 Phoenix Suns? I can answer those if you want.
We have a question from way in the back. These are the best questions, I promise.
Do you coordinate the whole thing? I mean, do you write each musician's and singer's part, or do you kind of give them some leeway and say, now it's your ride?
That's a fantastic question. Thank you. What's your name, by the way?
Margaret.
Margaret. Thank you, Margaret. I appreciate you asking that question. It's yes to both of them. Kind of how I went about it kind of depends on the style of music. I don't know if I can't remember if Dan mentioned. Yeah, Dan did mention at the beginning of the show that we Jacob, Natalie, and I play like instrumental, traditional jazz. Or I should say, it's like straight ahead jazz frequently. And in that case, it's a lot more. I think with some light guidelines, and then we kind of do do a lot of improvisation and stuff. In this situation, what I did was I wrote charts for everybody that had chords, melodies, lyrics, different things, so that they could follow along. Because the thing is, with these forms, they're really. I'm very nitpicky. I can play a lot of the instruments that are on stage, so I get real like, okay, on this bar, can you do. So with that much information, it's only fair for these these wonderful players to have some information, so they're not just like all by memory, But there are moments in there where I will, in the chart, specify, okay, right here, like Natalie, you take a solo here, or Jenny, you riff here, or whatever. But in general, it's very mapped out with all the chords, melodies, lyrics, etc. And what I do is I spend, pull an all-nighter and do all that in a program, a notation program, and then I put them in a Dropbox folder so that they can open it in any way that they can. So that's I think that's a kind of common method to kind of do that. You just put it in either Drive or. Yes, only certain parts. Yeah, a lot of it was written out and planned ahead of time. Yeah, Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's interesting. I think a big part of doing music like this, where it has jazz influence, but it's also very structured out and has pop music influence too. It's really important to specify. That's one thing that I've learned through this process. These wonderful musicians have helped me through it too, and given me feedback, and I ask feedback and et cetera. And I've noticed the more specific that I can get about, okay, these two bars you play, just play free, play something improvised here, or writing out a specific line. The more I can put down on paper, it seems to be better. Detail. It's all in the details. Exactly. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks so much, Margaret. I appreciate it. Thank you.
We have a dead battery. told you it'd be a good question. Am I right that I know Natalie and Benjamin both went to?
Yes, we did, and Jacob is also as well. So these two are finishing up their masters in the jazz studies program over there. I finished up in 2021 my undergrad in jazz piano studies. So yeah, both ASU or all ASU alums / students in some way.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like are we doing a battery change?
Yeah. So we'll.
Our mic is dying.
I have a question for you.
That's a really great question. Thank you. I'm trying to think of my. I would say there's a few that I would really Red Rock Amphitheater in Denver. I mean, just to be with all the in those incredible rocks with all that millions of years of history behind it, and you're just but a wee musician down there. That sounds incredible to me. I think the Village Vanguard, in New York, just to be able to once again hallowed grounds, all those incredible jazz musicians to be able to play there would be incredible. Trying to think of if there's anything else. I'd say those are probably some of my another one. It's impossible, but I would love to play at the old New York baseball stadiums. I would have loved to play at Shea Stadium like the Beatles, or play at the old Yankee. But those are rest in peace, long gone. But yeah. So something like that probably. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate the question.
I missed that. Was it a good one? Thanks. Anybody else up there gone to ASU or studied music or gives credit to playing trombone back in 6th grade like I did? Jenny, did you play trombone?
No.
No. I'm wrong again. I hate being wrong. We're gonna need one more or three more good questions. I'm gonna start way back here.
Thank you for all these great questions, everybody, by the way.
Door number
Love
3.
it. The venue question is all. I love that. I've never.
Hi, my name's Tony. I was wondering, do you prefer playing jazz in a studio setup or live better?
It's a great question. I think that as long as I'm comfortable with the musicians I'm playing with, and we have a good rapport, and we're happy, and we can make eye contact with each other and hear each other, I think either way I'm really happy. Now that being said, I love the studio, and I love hearing myself in headphones and hearing and playback in monitors. So, as I'm thinking about it, though, this is going to sound very wishy-washy. Studio is very harrowing when it comes to jazz because it's expository. It's like you can hear if you mess something up really minute, or if you're singing, if you're out of tune or whatever, it can be very expository. So I'd probably say live. I'd say playing live would probably be my actual favorite because it's you feed off the energy of the audience and you get that energy on stage too, and if there's a little liquor flowing if it's a club, it's just got that fun vibe, So I'd say after going back and ping-ponging back and forth, I'd say live probably for me. Yeah.
You learned that word expository at ASU, am I right?
Yes, of course.
Hi, I'm Peter, and I'm curious for the musicians, why you think you're a good match with the instrument you're playing, what drew you to that instrument?
Interesting.
We're going to start with Jacob,
Yeah.
because he's shy.
Everybody usually ignores me over here, so. I started playing the drum set in the church back when I was a kid, and it was something that just immediately I was drawn to, and somehow had a little bit of talent on it, and I'm very grateful to my folks for not just saying no right away. So very lucky to have the opportunity to be able to take lessons and meet a lot of really great musicians when I was young, and form bonds with a lot of different musicians that allowed me to play with them and hang out and explain all the stuff. And so it's one of those, I just found it and have never been able to leave it. If I was smart, I'd be a bass player.
Okay, I am not a jazz player. These guys are much cooler than me. I was raised on Springsteen and the Stones, you know what I mean? But I started playing bass because I was really bad at guitar, and I was like, the strings are a bit further apart. This must be a little easier. And then I actually loved playing it after a while. And I'm playing with Ben because he's just a wonderful human, and we met when we were 13?
Yeah, teenagers. Yeah,
And have just been playing together since then, and he's just lovely, and all these people are incredibly talented. So, but yeah, much less difficult than drums to haul around. I just got like 2 things, and that's it. Would recommend.
All right, so for me, sometimes it's funny when people say, "What do you play?" And then I get to say, "Voice." As a vocalist, a lot of vocalists are always really proud to say, like, "My voice is my instrument." So for me, as a kid, I started singing when I was little, and I think it was always just a really comfortable thing for me. I actually really preferred singing to talking. I just really liked sounds, and I would listen to a lot of things, and then I just started singing, and it was like, super fun since I was small. And then I was fortunate to be like mentored by really talented people, and I went to school a little bit for music. So I'm glad to be singing here tonight.
I chose the saxophone because when I wanted somebody to ask me if I was a vocalist, I could say no and make them feel uncomfortable. No, I was bullied into playing saxophone because I was too good on flute for my middle school concert band, so they put me in jazz band and gave me a saxophone. And then they needed a tenor player, so I got that, and then I ended up falling in love with it. And the rest is history. My dad took me to a Young Sons of Arizona concert way out in Glenda at a library that I can't remember, but with the one with all the peacocks. And I sat there, I was like, I can do this. These kids are my age. Dad, make me do this. And so he made me do it. And I'm still doing it to this day for a very long time.
Oh, yes, that's right. I do. I have my own.
Too many mics.
I'm special. Yeah, so I started when I was a really small child. So my parents who are here today, right out here up front, thank you, parents, for being awesome. My parents are both professional musicians. And they both kind of like what Jacob was describing. So they are church professionals. They are some of the baddest in the church industry, in the Catholic church industry. And so they kind of stuck me right next to them, when they were singing or when my dad was playing piano, right on the piano bench, hand me a shaker, get me really involved, and from very early on. So the legend, and they can confirm this for me, I wasn't really there, mentally at least, but the legend is that I went home one day after in church and plucked out the melody to a psalm in church, and they were like, "Oh, we got to get this kid some piano lessons." So from there, I just really engaged. I loved taking piano lessons, and I stopped that when I was younger, and then kind of just pursued like ear-based and just kind of exploratory training. There's that word again, Dan.
Expository.
Expository. Never mind. Similar. The other one, yeah. But anyways, from there, also my dad's a guitar player too. Actually, my mom's a guitar player too. But they just showed me how to both get my hands on the instrument and just really get a feel for it. So I started playing that, and then from there came bass. And then one day my dad needed a drummer for church, and he was like, "Here's some sticks, have fun." And so I started doing that too. And so now the way that I approach music is I try to think producer-minded or director-minded, where not really, if somebody asks me what instrument I play, I usually say piano, but really I try and use them all equally as tools to create a whole picture. And so that didn't answer your question. I'm very sorry about that. But for me, the reason I chose to study piano, I think, was because for me, writing on the piano and arranging seemed easiest and most natural, because it really is the center of at least the Western musical universe. And so for me, it just made sense to get more advanced in an instrument that I could use for not only for arranging, for to play live also and make some money, but and because I enjoy it, but also to produce with. I mean, a lot of the way that people engage with recording nowadays, is with a MIDI, a little 25 key MIDI keyboard on their desk. And so just being able to speak that language to me, I feel like on a deeper level, studying jazz has opened up a lot of opportunity for me to pursue the bigger picture through that avenue.
Did we have a question way in the back, and that might be our final one? Or oh wait, I see 2 hands. You can't have that. Can't have it. You'll have to split your question. Dave?
Hi, Benjamin. I'm Denise. And I grew up with two brothers that would sit outside with their friends in the neighborhood and they'd just jam all night. And so I'm just wondering if you could have an all-night jam session with anyone from jazz history, who would you choose?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Man, that's tough. Not even a top five. It has to be one. Is that right? That's the, or
Yeah, well, two. Let's do two.
okay, two. Okay. I would say I would want to play with from jazz history. I would want to play with Elvin Jones on drums, and I would want to play with Sonny Rollins on saxophone. I think that would be so much freaking fun, and just their style too. What I love about them specifically is they, especially in that kind of turn of the decade from the 1950s to 1960s, had such an explosive and adventurous sound that no one had really heard before, you know, and they were daring and boisterous and that, you know, it became a template for a lot of people after them, the way that they played. And so the fact that we're still talking about them as if like, oh my God, I'd love to play with them. And also that people are playing like them in jazz center hubs like New York, you know, is a testament to how influential and incredible they are. So I'd say those two would probably be my all-time favorites.
Thank you.
These have been excellent questions. Excellent answers. Do you have a question, or can we? He's been wanting to speak all night. This was the first guy here.
Hey, I got my seat. Ben, we've known you for years, and you just jump from one instrument to another and master it. And my question is, you know, you're in your early 20s. Do you ever wake up and say, you know what? I think I want to learn how to play the theremin. Or is there a trumpet in the bottom of your laundry basket that you're ready to grab? Is that, do you see that happening?
Well, so my roommate is a trumpet player, so I can kind of see that happening in a very rare accident. Liam, why'd you leave the trumpet? No, but no. The only thing, you know, I can cover a lot of bases with playing, you know, keyboard, bass, guitar, drums, I think, and singing, obviously. But if there was one other, I would say there's two other instruments that I've always been kind of pining to learn, and one of them is the tenor saxophone. I would love to be a saxophone player. I just think the tenor saxophone is such an incredible sound, and so many, the lineage, like I was saying with Sonny Rollins, like the lineage of jazz players who play saxophone and is very rich. So I would say that, and then I would love to play the cello, because I think that it's you know, it's once again another incredible, very versatile instrument, but also it's so useful for recording, for the kind of production that I do. A lot of people want strings, and to be able to just like be able to write it without using like keyboards and crap that makes it sound stupid would be really nice. So yeah, I think there is you know, there's always, to kind of expand the question and to answer it, I think there's always a hankering to do more and to learn more, and that does manifest in more instruments too. I would love to pick up more things, but for me, it's always a matter of, yeah, how can I better serve the music and create that big picture of the song that's in my head, or the song that I'm trying to produce for somebody, and that's a big part of it. Just like always a desire to improve, grow, get better, and yeah, never resting in your laurels. I think that's a big mistake. I could never do that myself. So.
Excellent.
Yeah. Thank you, Ed.
That's enough questions. I like that we've had the whole continuum here from expository to hankering. That's everything. Let's hear a song from Jacob and Aaron and Jenny and Natalie and Benjamin. Do you want to tell us a little bit about this song?
Yes, absolutely. So this one is a song. So I went on this a couple of trips actually to the same area. I was invited to Martha's Vineyard, which is kind of a crazy place to be invited, but to play in some churches over there during the summer, because they get a lot of people over there, and so they were asking me and my friend Thomas Mulia to go play over there and just, you know, have some really high level music to just entice people and to have like a praise night, etc. And while we were over there, I was, because it's just so peaceful, and we were staying in this really old, colonial house. I was in the attic, and I just would every day. It was a really good period for me. I would open up my laptop and just start writing every day, and I felt very inspired just by the peace of the place and the ocean, and just because it's rare that you get that moment where you can really kind of focus on that and not have to worry about too much else. So this song kind of just spurred from one of those sessions where I opened my laptop and I started kind of layering all these different kind of keyboard things together, and I was like, I think that's an intro to a song. And then I did something else, and I was like, I think that's a chorus. So you'll kind of hear it. There's like a break between the intro and the chorus, and you can probably tell where I kind of sliced that. So this one has only been performed a couple times, if not only one time other than this, because it's kind of tough to perform. So I appreciate, can I get a hand for this amazing band again for all the amazing work they did? They're not only some of the best musicians that I know, but they're also some of my best friends, all of them in the world. So it means a lot to be playing with them on stage. So yeah, this one is called Why You Gotta Do Me Like That.
Single move with lips that taste like French vanilla. It really isn't fair to tell the truth. How you do me like that?
Why you gotta do me like that? Do me like that? Why you gotta do me like that? Why you gotta do me like that? Do me like that? Why you gotta do me like that?
Your every single curvy line is especially fun. That dress you picked out just for me. I'm sure you behave natural, but I can't make any guarantee. When you do me like
Thank you so much. Natalie Galton on tenor saxophone. Jenny Pixler on vocals. Aaron Sperduti on the bass. The Captain Jacob Erie on the drums. And my name is Benjamin Cortez. We're so thrilled to get to present this music to you. Thank you for being here.